Hey, Dan.
Hey, yeah, this is Dan.
Hey, Dan. This is Christopher Mosier. I'm here with Fanboy William McKenzie from the
How you doing, Dan?
Fan Film
How's it
Podcast.
going, guys?
It's going well, sir.
Pretty good.
How about yourself?
Good, good. Just waiting for you to call, actually.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we had a little behind. William had to fill his tummy.
Oh,
Yes, I waited too long today to eat, so I had to do it at the last minute. Can't ignore the hunger. Have to obey the call.
Today we have for appetizer. Bucket, I'm gonna throw up.
So this is Dan. How do you pronounce your last name? Galiardi?
yeah, Galiardi.
Galiardi. Okay. And he directed and wrote the Iron Fist fan film, The Dragon Unleashed.
Right.
And we're speaking with him this evening.
So why an Iron Fist fan film?
Well, I'd have to say I've always been a huge fan of Iron Fist. Since I was a little kid, I grew up in the 70s Iron Fist, the Kung Fu thing, and I always wanted to do one. I always wanted to see him on film, and I didn't see that happening, so I figured, why not?
It seems like a very doable character for a fan film, but the only thing would be like the special effects for, the Iron Fist punch and all that stuff, which you actually pulled off in the fan film.
We almost gave up on that.
Really?
Yeah, we were editing for quite a while, and there was some frustration at different points. I had Greg Anderson as the editor, and we basically, he used to be a student of mine in the class I created at Five Towns College, Comics to Film.
Okay.
He was working at the college for a while, and then he said, yeah, I'll help you, edit, and he's a lot better editor than I am. So when we were working on it, he actually got a job in the city editing. So he was working, editing, and then we'd meet on the weekends, and we'd edit for 6 hours, some days 10 hours, for many, many weeks at a time, and he eventually was getting a little frustrated. I was getting frustrated with it, and he was like, well, why don't we just leave it? And then on the last day, we kind of came up with that flame effect.
Cool. What did you use for that? What program?
No program, actually. It was like a last-minute thing. I'd found a website, and I have to put it up on the MySpace page. It's detonationfilms.com, which was kind of a lifesaver. I got a download from there. They blow up stuff. So we basically took an explosion, or actually it's like a fuse, basically igniting, and then we just superimposed it.
Sweet. It looks good.
Yeah, I was glad,
It was worth all the pains in the ass and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're both happy with it now. I mean, we could have still edited for another, 50 hours, but at this point we were like, well, that's pretty much it, None of us are getting paid. Nobody got paid on the whole project. It was kind of a, hobby. I've been working on it for, I'd say, over a year now.
That's dedication, folks.
Yeah, there you go.
True dedication.
You said you're a professor of film at this college?
Yes, film and video at Five Towns College. I teach there part-time.
I was actually going to ask him that because I know you have the professor ahead of your name there, and I was just, curious what you taught. Wasn't too sure, but now that's cool to know.
Yeah, most of the people that worked on it were students. So I had it actually as part of my Comics to Film course, which is a course I created at Five Towns. And it's, it's a semester course, and basically it's about the translation of taking superheroes from the, comics and putting them into film, and the problems you kind of encounter and how to go through that. So we took those concepts, all the concepts I've been using while teaching the course, and try to put them into Iron Fist, The Dragon Unleashed, and hopefully we pulled some things off. Now realize there is no budget at all. I mean, we're in the hundreds, not the thousands. Whole thing.
Typical of fan films. I find that interesting that Comics to Film, you've got to be the only course in the country, if not the world, that offers such a thing.
Well, I did look into it first, and I was like, well, there is no one that offers it. And then I was like, well, let me pitch it to the school. And they're like, well, what could students actually do? And I was like, well, I don't know, what do you want me to do? Make a fan film? They're like, yeah, make a fan film. So I did with some students, and that pleasant corniness, I don't know if you've probably seen it. I hate to admit it, but I did the Black Panther as well.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. No, I don't believe I did see that.
Would that be the one opening up where you see T'Challa kind of sitting on his throne and he's talking? Would that be the one?
No. It was...
Okay, because I actually spotted one of those on YouTube. I was actually going to tell Chris later about this, but There is another one up on YouTube, but I know there was one on Comics to Film.
That's it. And there's some really awkward moments in it, which I look back on and are really great to me. But some people, don't appreciate it as much as I do. It was really over-the-top, campy type humor. It was fun. I did it with a bunch of students. There's a lot of problems with it. But we did that one in about 2 weeks. So from conceiving it to writing it, shooting it, and then from that, we actually had some problems with the main actor was a security guard at a school. And I said, hey, can you want to play this role? He said, yeah, sure, why not? I said, can you throw any kicks? He goes, yeah. I said, what do you do? He goes, taekwondo, whatever. Except when we got there, he couldn't throw that many kicks. And the other thing was, on the day we were shooting, he got food poisoning, and then he never made it to set.
Oh, man.
So we had to shoot everything without him. So that a lot of the scenes were actually shot without him in them. And then later we had to get him again and shoot it again. And then the first time he went to throw a kick, he threw out his leg. And so the last scene, he was supposed to do a roundhouse kick, but he could barely walk. So he just does like an elbow, and we did it in slow motion. So it was kind of funny. My brother-in-law is in it, and a lot of students are in it. But it was fun to do, and, you can't find it on anything right now, which is good. But I did find it actually at a convention. Someone bootlegged it, but that would be about it.
That.
So don't look for it. But it
No.
was big.
Yeah, but Dan, now I'll be looking for it. you planted the seed.
But it's so, there's so many things in it. Though he rolls over backwards in like slow motion, and it's like and the lines are really, really corny. But there's some good stuff in it. It's just really, really awkward, like to the 10th power. But that's what makes it great.
Well, I'll say in my book, you get props right off the bat for doing a Black Panther movie in the first place because no one else has done it. I mean, I've always loved Black Panther, and I've always wondered, when is somebody going to make a Black Panther fan film? He seems like a pretty easy character to pull off as well, and no one has done it yet. So when I actually did check out your film a while back, I kind of, I was like, this isn't bad, I think you're beating yourself up a little too much on that one.
Well, I think the internet criticism was kind of funny. There was some things about, like, the ears were off, and I was like... Oh,
yeah, you're going to get that.
It was funny. There was a little tag, and someone mentioned the tag is skew, and he doesn't have, reflexes. I was like... And, when I actually made it, one, I didn't think anyone would see it, to be honest. And then I was like, for a lark, put it up on the internet. And I didn't realize that people would actually see it on the internet. It was, 2004. I wasn't as experienced with the internet, and I don't think it was... I don't know, it was just like an experiment for me. And more people saw it than I thought. It went over big on blacksuperhero.com. I think they really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's a great site. I've been there a couple times.
So, and I think Dwayne McDuffie, mentioned it on his site. And so I think more people saw it because of that. But eventually I took it down, and it actually crashed the guy's site who put it up, which was...
Really?
Yeah, so it was funny. And the people enjoyed it. I mean, my brother-in-law is in it. He looks like he could kill the Black Panther. He does all types of martial arts himself, and he's not really an actor, but he can bench about 450 pounds. So maybe I'll do the Hulk with him or something.
Well, you have to understand that fanboys are, at least a certain set group of them, are out of their minds.
I must be the first to register my disgust on the internet regarding the new McBain film. The action was dismal, and the nudity was frustratingly fleeting. It barely got going.
They'll pretty much bitch about anything.
Well, I didn't go crazy with it. It's just I didn't realize, what it was like for me, I didn't realize at first the sort of enthusiasm for fan films.
That's a good word for it, enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm. Tearing down something that they like so much. Now, I'm not saying if you ever see it, there are a lot of criticism to it. However, when we made it, we weren't really thinking of those things. It was kind of like, let's see what we can do in 2 weeks, and then put it up. And, we had problems with the actor, and he's a great guy. I love the guy, but he's not really a martial artist. That's why this time I was like, well, let me do as much as possible to sort of minimize any type of problems that we might have. So that's why I spent time actually casting in the city. I put up an ad in Craigslist for martial artists, and that's where we got Albert Lamont, who does these crazy martial arts. He fought in Thailand. Like those kickboxer things.
Oh, that's like the real deal there, yeah.
Yeah, so he can actually fight. So he was there, and then we mentioned, Greg Anderson was the editor, but he also was there at the beginning. We said, well, there's no money involved. He goes, And we have it like on tape, and he's like, and we're both looking at each other. He's gonna kill us, like.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
That type of thing. But eventually he said, yeah, I would like to do it, Yeah, so he's actually a really, really nice guy, and he's an actor. He does some off-Broadway stuff. I think he'd be great at doing, like, stunt things. And he didn't know. I go, do you know nunchucks and things? He goes, no. But, well, here's some nunchucks. And he came back, and I don't know, well, hopefully you saw Iron Fist. He looked
absolutely.
With the nunchucks and everything. He was doing throws and he just picked up everything.
Yeah, I actually liked that part a lot. It was like, he stole his own weapon, and it just says kind of like a final insult, hit him with his own weapon.
Right, there's little pops like that we kind of liked. We enjoyed shooting them.
You arrived earlier than I expected.
Feng Li? Since when did you start working with the Takata clan? I thought you were dead.
Killing serious business, and only hire the best. As for me, I'm not dead. But as you can see, I'm now Feng Li the Broken. That's why I need the heart of the living weapon. The heart of Iron Fist. He needs to be killed in order for me to live fully.
I don't see that happening. You can't even walk.
True, in my current condition, I often rely on the goodwill of friends. Meet White Lotus and the Unbreakable Dragon. I trust that they will finish the job that the ninjas cannot.
I was actually going to ask you, who's the gentleman who played Iron Fist again? It was Lamont, his last name?
Yes, Albert Lamont. He's an actor in New York City. Great guy.
I was going to say, the guy's got pretty incredible martial arts skills. I don't know if Chris was going to talk about it, but the martial arts in the film are, I think, pretty top-notch.
Well, that's what we were definitely going for. I didn't want, like, any excuses this time. Mm-hmm. Whatever resources I can bring to bear, I wanted to sort of put them all into this project and not say, oh, I wish I could have did this, I wish I could have did that. Obviously, there are mistakes in it and things of that effect that anything money could have solved, but we didn't have money. So, but I wanted to start with a great guy who could do some martial arts, and I think we found a really great one with Albert. And he was a real trooper. He was laying down on the street, and we did the Chinatown scene, which actually is in Chinatown, and it is a dark alley in Chinatown.
Cool.
We shot it at night, and he did, like, lay on the ground for certain parts, and, one of the students at some point, who were the crew, by the way, also they got extra credit for working on it. It was like Friday night, and we were there till like 1 or 2 in the morning, and one of the guys, oh, yeah, someone said it's a cool alley. And the other person yells out, yeah, it smelled like pee. And it did smell like,
I imagine.
So it was a fun experience. And I just want to bring up my DP on that shoot. It was a friend of mine, Al Rogers, who I used to be a camera assistant full-time before I started teaching. And he still does camera work. It's, camera technicians on different projects. And he was working as a camera tech for this shoot, I guess, on Thursday night for a German company in New York City. And then they wanted to do an early shoot. And so he only got like 3 hours sleep. But he had said he was going to help me shoot it. So he wanted to be the DP. And he said, no, I'm not going to cancel out. So essentially he went with 3 hours sleep. He shot all day. He came to the set at 6 o'clock at night and then shot till like 1 or 2 in the morning, and off of 3 hours sleep. So he did a great job of lighting it, and I just wanted to point that out, as well as, the rest of the crew and everyone there. And Dean Martinez, who was the camera operator that night for Al, was also the DP later on the other shoot with the Kung Fu fight at the end.
In the warehouse.
Well, I'll tell you, lighting is a very, very important thing in fan films. A lot of people, especially when we're doing like a Batman film, anything that's dark and gritty,
right.
It's usually so dark you can't see anything. You can't see the people fighting. You just hear noises.
Right. That is.
And if that was filmed in pitch blackness, you did a fantastic job. Definitely.
Well, that's all. I didn't really concentrate on that. I was trying to concentrate more on getting the action in and just making it kind of happen. It's kind of tough to bring everything together with the no money. If I'm like,
yeah, that's the challenge.
You want to show up for this thing? And they're like, yeah, sure. And you kind of ask a lot of people, and maybe ask 20 people, and you get like 12, to kind of show up. And the light, that's one thing we wanted to get, and Al did a great job. The only problem I would have is when I transferred it from DVD to YouTube, YouTube kind of darkens the whole picture.
Yeah, it does that, actually. I've had a couple of filmmakers complain to me about that, so that's pretty common.
Right. I wasn't sure of how much, so I tried on the DVD to actually brighten it up when I transfer it to the computer, so that when it darkens it won't, try to compensate. It still looked a little darker than I would have liked, but, I think you could see most of the stuff.
Oh, definitely. It's extremely clear, and all the action looks great, so it all paid off. A lot of hard work.
Oh, good.
In the warehouse, I wanted to comment. I mean, in the background, you can see the yellows and the oranges reflecting off the wall. So that was very cool.
Yeah, that was Dean did all that. Dean and Brian Baker, they kind of set up the lighting there. Those two guys. We shot on that. There was 2 days of shooting. One was the ninja scene, which I told you about, and that went all the way into the night on. I think it was like a weekend in September, in New York City. And the other one was actually in the basement of the college, because I lost another location. I said, you know what, regardless, we're just going to shoot this Saturday and we'll find a location. And that was location. And those guys set it up. We shot for about 17 hours, so they were really troopers in staying there. And, I saw one comment saying, oh, you should have got more angles on the punches each, It's like, well, I think I would have had a crew mutiny if I stayed any longer to say, hey, let's shoot another angle here, and, that type of thing.
Yeah, there's always going to be those, you should have done this, you should have done that, and there's only so much time.
Right.
There's only so much you can do. And like you said, money issues, but that's fan films. I mean, that's basically, none of them are working on a big budget. It's all shoestring.
Right, that's the thing. But I try to get as much as possible that anything I could possibly put up there that I think would look good, they did.
So that's the whole thing. If you're going to do a fan film, give it your everything. Don't give it your 20%. Don't give it your 50%. Give it 110%.
Right.
Because it always shows in the end who put in work. It always shows. So.
Right. I definitely agree. This was a year in the making. When I started casting for Albert and the rest of the crew, we got Sarah Yu, she's the White Lotus. We got Jeff, who's the Unbreakable Dragon. Sue, who's Fang Lee, that's the guy in the wheelchair. Mm-hmm. He was one of my favorites when he was doing his wheelchair act, Also, I don't know if you know this, but he also played one of the ninjas. He was the nunchuck ninja.
I was actually going to ask you. I know you appear as one of the ninjas, correct?
Yeah, I'm the. I have to lose some weight after saying that. Who can't act and throws him? Because no one else could do the judo throw, so I took a little judo and I throw Iron Fist.
Oh, okay.
Over to punch him, and then he kicks me in the face, which he actually kicked me in the face because I wear glasses and I couldn't really see. So.
I hear you on that one. It's a pain in the ass to wear glasses.
So yeah, that's me. I'm the ninja that looks a little heavy throwing Iron Fist.
That would have been me, but with glasses too. It would have been me.
A big bushy beard.
That's right.
And after I was like, oh, that's the angle. Oh man, I would have gotten a different angle. But what are you gonna do?
I should have called Jenny Craig before the shoot. Went on a hunger strike or something.
I started running, so I'm gonna lose a little weight.
Yeah, you and Valerie Bertinelli could both be spokespeople.
Well, thank you.
Did you ever?
Remember, everybody. Here's a cheap pun. Just remember to take it one day at a time.
This is it. This is life, the one you get. So go and have a ball. This is it. Straight ahead and rest assured, you can't be sure at all. So while you're here, enjoy the view. Keep on doing what you do. Hold on tight, we'll muddle through one day at a time. One day at a time.
Snyder walks in with his friggin' jean vest. Hey, everybody!
And the tool belt.
His salt and pepper mustache.
And Eddie Van Halen.
We are stupid. Don't let us scare you.
Usually,
it's part of our charm.
Yeah, we go into pulp culture tangents once in a while.
Right. Well, I've seen the show. I used to watch it as a kid.
So let me see.
If you
go ahead, Chris.
I was thinking about if you did a follow-up movie, maybe I don't know, your next class, involving Iron Fist. Would you put Luke Cage in it?
Yes, please.
I was thinking of Luke Cage, and when I was casting, what I did was actually I wrote the ninja scene, and then when I went to cast, I had people doing some readings of things, and I wanted to see who I had, and then I was actually changing the script based on who I found, what martial arts skills they had and what they did. So I actually wrote the last part later and changed up the ninja scene based on that. I was looking for a Luke Cage. I was looking at the costume for Luke Cage. I wanted to get I want to do the 70s one with the satin yellow shirt.
Absolutely.
And that was gonna cost I don't know. People wanted $60. I was like, well, that's out of my budget. So that budget-wise, getting the tattoo for Iron Fist, which I think cost $90 every time we wanted to shoot, which was $90. So that the budget-wise and trying to find another person. Then I was like, well, what am I going to have them do? Come in and say Sweet Christmas or, So that became another factor that I didn't want to put in right away. If I did another one and I had some cash to do that and found a person that could do it, then I would definitely do it.
You got to charge more for your classes. Then you get a bigger budget.
Yeah, they only do the class once every 2 years. They do it every other year.
Gotcha.
So, but it's good. I mean, the students enjoy it. One of my students actually is probably coming out with a fan film. Mike Felds, he's coming out with, what the heck is it? He's going to kill me. Death Note. It's an anime thing. I'm not a big anime.
Oh, Death Note. Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
What's that character?
It's Death Note. Death Note. The guy writes notes and they die.
So that's an actual DC or Marvel character?
Yeah.
No, this is actually like a 70s kind of a goth manga that it's based on.
Oh, okay.
And then it got turned into an anime, which is very good. You can see it on Adult Swim. There's a plug for Adult Swim. I think it's on weekends around 2 in the morning or something. But it's a great anime. It's really twisted and dark and different, as opposed to the sunny, happy stuff that you see every 5 minutes.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job on it. I only saw the work in progress because by the time the class ended, he turned it in, but he was still working on the sound effects and other things and the music. But it looked pretty good from what I saw, and he said he's going to release it at some point. So if he gives you guys a ring, maybe, take a look at it.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I will definitely.
Send them our way.
Another question.
Okay, I will.
So you came up with some of the characters, I noticed, for the film by yourself.
Yes.
How did you come up with these particular characters? Was it influence from other areas, or did you just kind of brainstorm and come up with these characters?
Well, to be honest, I was trying to incorporate a lot of the things I've been talking about in comics to film, of what you should do when translating. And I was trying to do that with no budget, obviously. But one of the things was, what would I want to see in an Iron Fist fan film? What is the essence of Iron Fist? And obviously the Iron Fist, which I was hopefully we would be able to pull that off, and I think we did a decent job. I mean, could have maybe did better, who knows? But that was one thing. And I figured people want to see, more accurate costumes. So we try to get the costume as close as possible. I couldn't do the 1970s look, so I went with the more modern look. If you look at the Immortal Iron Fist,
right, he's got the shirtless version now.
The first cover, that's kind of the look we went for. And I had a rubbery mask, which he wouldn't wear. So he had a friend in the stage, off-Broadway, apparently, who could actually make a mask. So I said, sure, if you make a mask, then, we can use that. So he did that, and that's Isaac Scranton who designed that mask. And I thought he did a pretty good job. And then for tattoos, I was like, well, I made a stencil. I was like, oh, you can paint it on. He's like, well, why don't you just get a tattoo? I'm like, if you're willing to get a tattoo, then we'll get a tattoo. So we went to tattoo parlors looking around, and he found a temporary henna place with black. And I said, well, black, I was reading about it, you can actually get an allergic reaction. I said, well, why don't you just go brown? And he goes, no, I'm going black. And he said he did it somewhere before. I don't know if he did it in Thailand or something, but I think, well, if you're willing to take the chance, it's up to you. But I'm telling you, he's like, no. For the part, I have to do it. And then he kind of fought me on the yellow slippers. That was kind of a debatable thing. But I'm like, no, you got to have the yellow slippers. That's Iron Fist. But other people might say, no, you should have went with something else. But that's what I chose. That was my call.
Well, I think that it looked really good, and I was actually going to give you kudos on the mask and the entire costume, because I think it was very true to the images you see in the comics today, especially the one with the shirtless look and the beat-up kind of look, which he looks like now. So you definitely get kudos for that one.
Thank you. And I digress. I just thought, didn't even answer your question. The question was about White Lotus. I came up with White Lotus because Elektra needed someone to fight. Originally, it was supposed to be two girls, Thunder and Lightning. It was supposed to wear the same matching costumes, but we lost one of the actors who went to California for some reason. So it was only going to be one person, so I changed her name to White Lotus. And she would be a henchman for Fang Li, which he had to have a bad guy, but I didn't want him to fight directly. So I put him in a wheelchair, and he's supposed to be like, he wants to get Iron Fist power. This way he can walk again and become, whole again. And then the Unbreakable Dragon is supposed to be like a demon character who you can't really beat. So Iron Fist can throw pretty much anything he wants at him, and it's not going to beat him. So he has to use the Iron Fist. I don't know if you've read Iron Fist, but usually he doesn't use the Iron Fist against humans. That was one of the things. He didn't want to just go out and kill people and knock their heads off. So once he finds out that he's not human, he's like a demon character, then he feels like, okay, then I can use the Iron Fist against him. And that's what he does.
What was with Fang Li there? He was playing with, I don't want to say he was playing with his balls, but I mean, I've never seen a fan film where the character was playing with his balls, but
the memo clearly said no playing with your balls at work.
What else am I supposed to do?
But what was that all about? Was that him controlling the creature that Iron Fist was fighting?
Well, that is good. I wish we had thought of it at that level, but no, we were just kind of fooling around like, hey, look, there's two girls fighting. Now he's,
grabbing his balls.
Yeah, we did throw that in. Sorry. I mean,
Hey,
no,
I'd be doing it if I was there.
He's controlling, for all the people listening, he's controlling the Unbreakable Dragon. But no, Sue threw that in the fact that, not at that part, I don't know, the editing process, that was later. But he actually threw it in as a thing for his character, so we went with that. And then we're like, well, we should cut back to Fang Li watching the fight, and we thought I thought it was funny.
Okay.
There's got to be some weird fanboy that enjoys that as well. Did you say Superman and balls? I'm all in.
I got some simple trivia questions about Iron Fist if you want to go there.
Okay.
If interested, we'll see how big a fan you are. I'm not sure how much Fanboy Will knows about the character or not.
I could give it a shot. Yeah, I'm pretty much up to the Bronze Age.
These are all pretty...
You read Iron Fist, for all those people out there, Immortal Iron Fist, it's on stands now.
Good
Marvel Comics, don't sue me. Go ahead.
Okay, first one, again, pretty simple. What writer/artist team created the character of Iron Fist / Daniel Rand?
Who created it? It's Roy Thomas and Gil Kane.
Yep, very good, sir.
I knew about Gil Kane. I didn't know about the writer, though.
Yeah.
What did the character of Iron Fist, or what comic did the character of Iron Fist make his debut appearance?
He was in Marvel Premiere number 15.
That's correct. You know...
Man knows his stuff.
To be nerdy, do you know the month and year?
The month and year, I'll go out on a limb. I believe it's 1974.
That is correct.
May?
That is correct. Very good.
Very good.
Wow.
Let's see. Who is Iron Fist's arch enemy created by, I guess his big arch enemy, created by Chris Claremont and John Byrne in the 1970s?
Sabretooth.
I've got here as Steel Serpent.
Oh, Steel Serpent? Yes,
Yeah.
he is as well. I thought you were going with the Sabretooth premiered in... he's now associated with the X-Men, but he actually fought Iron Fist in Iron Fist number 14.
I didn't know that.
They fight... he actually beats the X-Men in number 15. And the Steel Serpent, is his main guy now. I guess he made his main guy then, too.
I guess that Steel Serpent, it says, I wrote down, he's capable of draining the power of the Iron Fist from its wielder.
Well, in the latest thing, he's fighting the Steel Serpent a lot.
Yeah, I think I had one Iron Fist Power Man comic when I was a kid, and I'd never really gotten the character, so I don't know much about it. I actually stole all this stuff from Wikipedia.
Okay.
What I do is I picked it up in the 80s as a young kid, about 84, 85 or so, and really started to get into the Power Man and Iron Fist, and then discovering that, hey, there was a solo book back in the day that I didn't see. So when I dipped into the Bronze Age stuff, and I just fell in love with all the Bronze Age stuff. I'm going to be 33 and how old the gentleman you are.
Okay.
It's right from that age group there, where I was able to go back and look at the Bronze Age. And a lot of the stuff from the Bronze Age is really slept on. Some fantastic stuff came out of that era that really never gets touched upon. It's kind of a shame.
Right. The
But,
stuff I
it's a
really
great era
enjoyed
for
that, where they had from the Marvel premiere through the John Byrne, Chris Claremont stuff. You know, you had that run of Iron Fist, which was great in the fact that, you know, he beats up the X-Men, he fights Sabretooth. He's got a lot of cool stuff that goes on there. Even his origin has, you know, he basically is, you know, he's going to see his father's taken him, his family, which is really stupid, through, you know, the Himalayas to find Kunlun, which shows up once every 10 years. And then on the way there, he's going with a business partner who has basically kills his family, and he survives. Well, him and his mother, he kills the father, and then two are going towards, they see the city, and they're running towards it. And as they're getting up to, like, the fence, not the fence, the drawbridge, or just a bridge, she says, run, you know, and sends a little kid across, and she throws herself to the wolves, and so he turns around, sees his mom getting killed by wolves, and he makes it to the city, and then, like, you know, he trains for revenge to get back at this guy for, like, the next 10 years when Kunlun comes back onto the plane. Then he goes to New York City to seek revenge. So it kind of, like, sets him up, and I thought it was, like, a cool origin story, which is, I think, not many people know about. But I think
it's like your standard Shaw Brothers kung fu film from the 70s. Like, you know, you killed our master, now we're going to train for 5.5 years to come back and kick your ass.
Right, that's exactly it, the revenge story.
Of course, those are always great.
I love them. But also, I have to say, I confess, I do like campy stuff and overly dramatic things and just
who doesn't?
Stuff. That's, I'd have to say that's about my style, you should say.
I got a couple more questions here. I'm going to go for it.
Sure.
Let's see here. Iron Fist appears as a non-playable character in what 1994 16-bit video game released for the Super Nintendo and Genesis game consoles?
In 1994?
Yeah. It's kind of hard.
I don't know. Nintendo, I'd say, I know it came out in Friend or Foe. That was supposed to be like a first playable character. I'd say a Spider-Man type thing, because that's, I don't know. I'd say Spider-Man.
That's correct.
Wow.
It's you know Fanboy Will beyond that?
I was going to say, was it made by Capcom?
I didn't write who made it. I just wrote down the title.
Well, what's the title? I got
Spider-Man and Venom Maximum Carnage.
Oh, Maximum Carnage. Yeah. My friend used to have that game.
Big 16-bit high-tech video game.
The latest 16-bit technology.
I got one left. I'll just get it out there and get it behind us.
You're killing us, Chris.
What comic was the first appearance of Elektra?
Elektra was in Daredevil. I think she dies in 181. Frank Miller created her in Daredevil. I can't remember the number. It's probably 161, somewhere around there. I don't know.
Pretty close.
140 something.
What'd you say?
I was going to say 140 something.
168 actually.
168.
Yeah, so she didn't last too long her first go around, huh?
No, he just kind of created her and then killed her.
And
in unpredictable Marvel style, they resurrected her.
Mm-hmm. That's Frank Miller.
You don't stay dead long in Marvel.
That's true. Don't DC either.
We just like that for real life, you know?
Yeah, that'd be good.
You're dead for like 2 weeks and you come back. Hey, what's up, guys?
We have a lot of people running around.
Scare the shit out of everybody.
They're here.
Dude, you died like 4 years ago.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And they did Marvel Zombies. Oh.
That was a good one.
Yeah, Iron Fist was a Marvel zombie.
I didn't see him. Oh, he's not in the...
Not in the fan film, though.
No, not in the film, but he's included in the book, actually.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Up there.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. You like kick some guy and his leg bone flies off.
That's cool. I haven't really read the whole Marvel zombie series yet. I'll probably wait and eventually... I got so many comics here I haven't read yet.
I hear you, man. I'm sitting on a stack myself. I'm just about to buy more at the upcoming convention, which is a segue.
There you go.
Oh, that's right. Dan,
there you go. I was waiting
right?
for my chance, baby.
Dan and Willow are part of that.
We are going to be on the sexiest panel.
I'm dead sexy.
At the New York Comic Con coming up.
That's right. And I recommend people come in costume. That'd be good. Maybe give
Chris
us
told me he was going to maybe come as Blue Beetle or Daredevil or Plastic Man.
That'd be cool.
Or Catwoman.
He'll borrow his wife's costume.
What are they going to dress up as? He's going to do Blue Beetle and
he might be
Catwoman?
Blue Beetle or Plastic Man, and I don't know if his wife's going to come as Catwoman or not. Not sure.
Cool. But if anyone in the audience wants to show up, that'd be great. Say hello. I know some of the actors might show up. I think Sue, Fang Lee, and the Nunchuck Ninja, he might show up. And Albert, Iron Fist, he said he'd be in the audience there. So if you want to meet them, say hello.
Oh, very cool.
I don't know about Elektra or White Lotus. I think maybe Elektra might show up. I don't know about.
I was going to ask you about your Elektra. Actually, you got the costume down pretty good on that one. And how did you find Elektra? Was that casting call, or was that somebody you knew? Or...
He's one of my students in the class. Yeah. I had a casting call, and a lot of people just flaked out on the audition. They said, "Oh yeah, we'll show up," and I kept doing things, and they kept going out. And then I said, Amber, do you want to do this? And she said, sure. She was going to be one of the ninjas at first. So, and all the ninjas basically are pretty much students from the class. And she said she'd do it, and I said, okay. I said, you willing to wear this thing? And she said, sure. And basically that's the costume from Marvel Elektra. I don't think they make it anymore, but it's just a straight Marvel Elektra official costume.
Oh, you could actually buy that?
Well, you used to be able to, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
That was the only one. Now, if I had more money, I would have spent, more money trying to make, like, an Elektra costume. But you can actually buy it. My wife said it looked too cheap, but she wasn't too thrilled. And she's forbidding me from making any more of these for quite a while. But,
As long as you're making money, you can bring it home. If you're not coming back in this house.
Yeah. Well, she said, yeah, if I could do it for money, then sure, why not? But not right now.
I hear you.
You're not putting any more of your students in hot costumes. And that's final.
And Lucio appeared you're in a Speedo.
I want the camera! Who gave you permission? Who gave you permission to film? I'm calling the police now! Call 911 now! No, give me the film and the camera! I've had it with you photographers!
No, well, she doesn't care about that. She cares more about the time factor. That I wasn't home for, like, I'd say each Saturday or Sunday. We did it, like, once a weekend for, like, I don't know, we were ready to edit in December. So we must have started New Year's. So since New Year's, pretty much every Saturday, we might have skipped, like, a bunch. We worked on, like, 6 hours average. But near the end, it was near 10 hours each or so.
You got to put in that quality wifey time, You got to put in that time with the wife, otherwise she gets angry.
Yeah, so, she's like, well, we should spend some time together. I said, okay.
Just tell her in a sequel she'll be in the next one. Iron Fist 2.
Yeah, she could be in the next one, She's going, but I don't think she'd stick around for the hours. She's like, oh, she's good for a few hours, but then if we go the 17-hour day, and all these people were troopers, Sarah and Sue and Jeff. Jeff, the Unbreakable Dragon, actually missed one of his plays, so I felt really, really bad about that. And I think Elektra Amber, she missed a party as well that night. So I was like, oh.
Oh, there's many more parties to come.
Yeah.
She's young.
True.
Especially the severely drunken one after the panel.
There you go. Good.
Is your wife like my wife? She's like so out of geekdom. I mean, she like shakes her head every time I try to explain.
What the hell are you watching? What are you reading? I don't know what it is.
There's another Spider-Man movie coming out, or is she kind of into it?
I'd say she's a mixture of, she's like, oh, good, we can go to Comic-Con. She enjoys the Comic-Con. We've been to the last two, and we've had fun there. But she's not like, she reads Archie, basically. She's a big fan of Archie and Betty and Veronica's, but
that's close.
Yeah, that's probably
Where's
better.
the Archie fan films?
Right.
There are none.
Those would be cool.
I'm making one.
Those would be good.
That's it. I'm going to be Jughead.
Have you guys made fan films?
Will's been in one of Notarelli's films.
I've been in one. I was actually in the Question Part 2 from Chris Notarelli and Blinky Productions.
Oh, okay.
And I was actually wrote a screenplay for a Hellblazer fan film with Chris, who stars as John Constantine.
You actually filmed it?
Yeah, we actually made it and everything.
Oh, you did?
But unfortunately, the audio got screwed up, and we were forced to kind of like maybe scrap the project. We're still debating it.
Right.
We might go do the audio over. We might even refilm it if we can. But we did pull it off in Jersey, and we were pretty happy with it at the beginning. And then, Chris took it into editing, and he said it's a nightmare. You could barely hear it. We had an inexperienced camera person that he hired, who he now hates, and he did a really bad job on the sound. So unfortunately, the project kind of got scrapped. But there's no saying it might turn up in the future. Who's to say? So, but yeah, that was my only real experience, was writing that screenplay and semi-directing it.
Oh.
So,
well, it
was fun though.
That is one thing I do want to mention, that I'm kind of proud of the fact that, even with the Black Panther and Iron Fist, that we started off, and if you look at the forums, a lot of times people will announce that they're going to do a fan film, and then they'll have some stills, and then all of a sudden they'll never come out.
Oh, that
happens a lot. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to announce this one until I was actually semi-close to finishing it. The only thing was that Clive Young, who will also be on the panel, by the way, which will be April 19th at James Chapman.
You'll be hosting the panel, actually.
Yes, he'll be hosting the panel. He actually caught the casting call early on. That said, it said POW, looking for martial artists to, be in a fan film. And then he actually emailed me from that, and that was over a year ago. So
I was going to ask how you got in touch with Clive, actually, so that's cool to hear the story.
Yeah, so he emailed me, and I was like, well, I didn't want to say I'm going to be doing an Iron Fist fan film, but I was like, well, I'm starting to work out an Iron Fist fan film. And it was kind of I wasn't sure if I should tell him, because then I'd want to be the guy who announced it, but, never did it. Mm-hmm. And at certain points, I almost abandoned the project because, I lost actors, the script lost locations, and it just became a big, the production got bigger and bigger and bigger. During the night shoot, we actually had, the producer, Tom Calandrillo, actually loaned me his truck and his generator. We had this generator on the street, and it's an actual generator, not it's like a truck generator.
Yep. One of those big loud suckers,
Yeah.
One of those?
One of those big ones you see on the streets if, a building loses power.
Right.
Yeah.
So we had that, and, he loaned that to me for the night. And, with Albert coming on, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and I was like, oh, man, I hope we can kind of pull this off. And a lot of it fell on my shoulders to do a lot of the stuff. We had a lot of crew people that definitely helped out and really put everything forward. But it put a lot of pressure on me that, I don't want to let these people down. Now we're putting on a, crappy film. So that's one thing I wanted to do. If I announced it, I was going to kind of do it. And I'm glad that we did. But that's one of the big things with fan films. And I try to teach the students that, you got to make sure you finish it. And I know there's going to be lots of problems. We did a lot of the dialogue over with ADR. I invited, the guys over one at a time to redo some of their dialogue. I think most of that dialogue was redone.
We should do that. Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, you just do the ADR. You have them repeat it over and over again. And I played it on the DVD, and then they just said the lines over and over again. And I know some of it's off. What are you going to do? But also I can also claim it's a martial art film, just like the 1970s that they're...
There you go, Shaw Brothers, baby.
It's all about the subtlety.
Damn you! You killed my father! Prepare to die!
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Did you hear any word from... I was asked this of the guests, because I'm always curious. Did Marvel contact you at any point to know that they saw the film or anything like that? Have you heard anything from Marvel?
No, I don't think they know it exists yet. I don't think... if the views, it's not tens of thousands of views. It's only, a few thousand views. That's about it right now. So really, who's really seen it, Maybe at some point they may see it, and, I'd like to meet with people of Marvel. That'd be nice. That'd be, I guess not the lawyers, but,
Right.
I think they know it exists.
I told you Joe Quesada, but I'm not talking to that guy in the suit over there.
I think you'd be surprised how many people get a hold of the film. You just don't know about
exactly
around the world.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think so,
right now, I
then
don't
you find out.
Many people. Maybe eventually. There was with the Black Panther, that was the funny thing, which kind of convinced me when I was doing this to make sure that, everything was kind of as best we could make it. That one of my brother-in-law, Nicky Bettino, he's in it, and he's like the big goon guy. And one of his friends had bought a bootleg DVD at a convention and was watching it. He goes, hey, I know that guy, So it was kind of funny that he didn't even know he was in it, and then he recognized him, and then he called him up later and said, I bought this DVD, and and you're in it, you know. So I thought that was kind of funny. By the way, I don't sell any of those DVDs. I just thought it was funny that it happened that way.
Good man, good man. You're not supposed to do that. That's breaking the fan film rules right there.
Yeah, I don't do that, but I just thought it was funny that it happened.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Fanboy Will has had a couple passionate monologues about that so far.
Yes, I've heard all your podcasts.
Oh. We're actually being clean on this one. If you've heard the others, we're not usually that clean.
I was trying to keep it clean, except for that Sue thing with the relaxation.
We just like to talk about balls. Is there anything wrong with that? We could be talking about basketballs. Nobody knows.
By the way, they did I think I'll be teaching this class again, not next year, but the year after at the college. Just so you know, the comics and film. I don't know if we'll be shooting anything again then. Maybe I can convince them to let me do that at that point, but we'll see.
Do you find it's mostly people who are interested in comic books, or is it actually filmmakers that don't necessarily aren't necessarily familiar with the genre at all?
It's a mixture because in the class, first off, the school, Five Towns College is very small. The film video department's like 100 people, so it's not like NYU or any of those type of things. But this is one of the elective courses, and people that are really into comics take it, and then there's some filmmaking people take it as well. So I try to, combine them so that they can make some type of fan film together, They can get into groups, and a lot of them don't always finish it. Sometimes they come up with a paper. But it's a mixture. Some do it, then they're slightly interested in superhero movies. It's mostly about superhero movies and fan films, together. But the other people are really, really into comics, and they wanted to shoot some type of comic book thing. And then, that's up to them.
Now, is this you, to get off on a separate tangent real quick here, brought up this not so famous site called IMDb. Not a lot of people know about it.
Okay.
Just kind of plugged in your name.
Right.
Movies like The Truman Show, Dogma. Is this the same person we're speaking with? Who?
Yes, that's me.
Okay, I thought as much because you spoke earlier about your camera work and such. That's it. Your Jungle to Jungle.
Right. Basically, it was a camera technician, a camera assistant on those jobs. I was not like the top cameraman. I was part of the camera crew, but I was on like all those productions.
That's very cool.
At different times. Some of them. Like, I was on Batman Forever.
Right.
That was a fun shoot. I mean, that was probably like a dream come true for me. I mean, I wasn't the guy shooting it. And if you look at the fan films with the colors in the background, that was basically a takeoff on Batman Forever.
God.
And then we also put, like, I don't know if you noticed at the beginning of Iron Fist, when it comes out of a lot of the Chinatown scenes, which I went with my dad, actually, in the morning. We drove into Manhattan about 4 in the morning to try to get scenes of Chinatown with no people on it, and there were still people around. But we got some guy loading up a warehouse and other things. So we shot those, and then if you hear just as it fades to black and comes in with like him kicking the guy, the ninja, we put in a gong as like an homage to Batman. I think it was the first movie.
Oh, that's right. When he hits him with the. He's taking on the goons or whatever, and he hits one guy with the gong. Yeah, there was like a little gong sound in there at the beginning. We just threw like little things in like that. But the Batman Forever, I got to see. The great thing is I got to see lots of famous people, acting and directing and all that stuff, and hopefully some of it rubbed off. I didn't add. I don't know if you guys know this. That Joel Schumacher, that his sexual orientation kind of rubbed off on the movie a lot. That's talked about a lot because of the, I don't know if anybody knows, but he's I believe he's homosexual. Am I correct on that, or is he not?
He's flaming though.
Yeah. Oh.
He's very, very much so. Like you see him, and he's like someone who's making a caricature. You know what I'm saying? He's like, Val, come on over here. I
was trying to be all low-key about it. He just comes out with, he's flaming, man.
He is, but that's the thing. When you saw him, it was like, oh, my God. And, that's up to him, but I don't think it should rub off on Batman. Like, let's not start bringing out, like, the whole gay fantasy thing. The first one, he was kind of restrained a bit in Batman Forever. And then in the second one that he directed, which Batman and Robin, he just went crazy with. He had like fantasies in there with guys like in G-strings banging on gongs. They met in the Turkish baths. That was like a famous gay hangout in New York City.
That explains the nipples.
Nipples, yeah, all that stuff. Then you had the butt shot of Batman. You know, like that's weird. Well, it's not weird if it's coming from this director who, you know, nice guy and all, but I don't think he should have put that into the movie.
That was actually voted as one of the worst, if not the worst, comic book adaptation ever.
Yeah, well, I was...
I'm not sure.
I was happy to work on it. I was like, oh, man, but I had to work on this one, you know? But I guess... Batman and Robin was supposed to be the worst.
That's the one with... that was the last disaster.
The last one, yeah. But they let him... wanted to make it more kid-friendly, but he didn't make it kid-friendly. You know, he made it, like, gay-friendly, you know? Which is, you know, if he wants to do that, that's fine with him, but don't do it to Batman. You know, Batman, that's not what Batman is about. And you had all that, you know, the seduction of the innocent, you know, that whole thing with Wortham claiming that Batman and Robin were gay, and, you know, he just kind of played into that whole thing, which were all, you know, untrue, but he just kind of played it up, which wasn't a good idea, and killed the franchise for a bunch of years. So this is stuff we talk about in class.
Yeah, absolutely, he did.
But and you're coming from Tim Burton, that whole dark and kind of dark comedy twisted feel, into this like super, you know, bright colored, over the top performances.
Right.
Allow me to break the ice. Cold, freeze, cold, freeze, cold. Frozen ice, cold, chill, chilling winter, ice, winter ice, chill, cold ice, chill, cold freeze, chill, freeze, winter ice, cold, cool, ice, frost, winter ice, freezing ice, cold, freeze, 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 freeze. Let's kick some ice.
And you're kind of going back to the days of the 60s with the campiness of the old Adam West series.
Correct. And I have to say, I do steal the colors and things like that. That I do like. I like that part of it. I just think he went a little overboard with it. But
he went overboard, all right.
Right. I like the campiness of the 60s. I love that stuff. I love Adam West. And I also love the dark Tim Burton, like the Frank Miller Batman as well. The thing is, he made it too dark, and then kids couldn't buy the toys. You know, they couldn't, you know, how you can take your kid to a homicidal maniac, you know, killing people.
And buy them like penguins with rockets strapped to the back.
Right, yeah. That was getting too much for the studios, so then they eventually wanted to go with the lighter side, and they went too light, I think, in that. You know, it's one man's opinion.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad you were up front on that. That's very interesting.
Yeah, and I got to see the Batmobile, which was... and it had real flames coming out the back. They went like 15 feet back, and it was actually like a jet engine they put on the back of this real car. And they had two of them. And they blocked off the streets. And the only problem I had with that is I had no souvenirs from the experience. Everything I got said Blinko on it. We sent out the film, and it was called, I forgot what it was like, Did She Love Me or something. It was like some bizarre thing. They put different labels on it so no one could tell what the budget was. So when I went to the lab, it didn't say Batman, so no one stole the film. You know, the slate didn't say Batman, it said Blinko. That was the code name.
Blue Harvest.
Star Wars, when they did
Blue Harvest was Star Wars, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they used a lot of code names, and my check didn't say Batman, it said Blinko. So, you know, I'm like, yeah, I worked on it, you know.
Blinko?
Brought to you by Blinko.
Yeah, so there was a lot, you know, all that stuff. So I didn't really get any, and you couldn't take any pictures. There was a whole lockdown. You had to sign these agreements. You couldn't talk about it or anything, you know, until afterwards, obviously.
Do not look at the actors directly in the eye.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have
to pay the price.
But it was, you know, it was a lot of fun to work on. I loved it. And one of my students, which was funny in comics to film, shot a Batman thing. I don't know what they did with it, but I told them where one of the Wayne Manor scenes was, and they actually topped the fence and shot their Wayne Manor was the same Wayne Manor in Batman Forever.
Oh, cool.
It was kind of cool there, which is on Long Island. And, you know,
what part of Long Island is that?
You want me to tell you where it is?
Yeah, sure.
The Webb Institute. It's a college for naval architecture. It's I think Glen Cove, around there somewhere.
Oh, that's a couple towns away from me, actually.
There you go. I think Glen Cove. It could be Oyster Bay, somewhere around there.
That's where I live.
It's on the map.
Yeah.
Take a field
trip. Check it out.
It's It's over there. Yeah, they have the whole fence. Obviously, they don't have the statues, things, but it is the place for that movie, at least.
All right, Mr. We got anything else?
I pretty much asked up, I guess. Unless you want to.
No, I think
ask some questions.
I covered pretty much everything. I was gonna. Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Oh no, we're even dying.
This is one question I didn't ask. When Elektra's on the ground during the warehouse scene, and stabs the Oriental villainess there, White Lotus.
The White Lotus. Yeah.
Yeah. Where does she stab her? Because it cuts.
In the leg.
Oh, okay. With the side. Okay.
Yeah, it's the leg. We only had. What happened is we ran out of film, so we didn't get multiple takes. We did like one take of everything at that scene.
Okay.
So certain things like the end scene got cut off. We had like one take of that. We lost the audio for that, so we had to redo the audio. So a lot of that stuff we had just like, one take and that was it. So we just kind of went with it,
Well, go back and watch that.
Okay.
and then go into my sick, twisted childhood mind.
The rectovaginal examination enables you to feel behind the cervix and perhaps a little higher.
But we did add a more horrifying scream, so we did add that later.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it was the leg, I believe. I'll have to rewatch that, though.
Yeah.
Overall, though, I think it came out great.
Yep,
I mean,
definitely.
That's what you set out to do, I would say.
Well, I mean, with Iron Fist, that's a character that hasn't been done into a fan film, so that's, at least I guess I can speak for Fanboy Will. That's what really attracts us as characters that haven't been done in fan film form yet.
Right. Well, I did want to do that. I looked up if there was any Iron Fist fan films, and there was none that I saw. Although there is this really weird guy dressed up in Iron Fist on YouTube who does vacuuming.
I'm going to YouTube right now.
Maybe he should go to Joel Schumacher's house and vacuum.
Had a bunch of...
Hello?
We would watch that before we edited. Greg said, let's check out an Iron Fist guy. And it's Iron Fist, like, kicks it around the house or something. And he's basically this guy, I don't know if he's drunk. He must be college buddies. And the guy's cooking in the background. And then he's, like, punching the floor. It's pretty funny.
Hey, you want a burger?
Yeah, so I guess he's an Iron Fist fan. I mean, he had, like, the whole Iron Fist. It looked sort of like the same get-up that we had. And I was like, oh, that's funny. So if you want to be, he could be the first Iron Fist on film, if you want to count that.
I don't know if I'd give him the credit of a film, really.
I'd give him the credit.
That's goofiness.
He's probably looking for a power man.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so maybe on the next one. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. It's been a huge thing. I don't know if I'll probably take a break for a while on making fan films, but maybe at some point I'll make another one.
Well, you want to do your own thing. You want to, actually do something like your wife says that makes money.
Yeah, that'd be, I enjoy shooting things. I shot once I had shot like a sitcom thing. We did that for fun. That's not up anywhere right now, but we'll see. But yeah, we'd shoot other things. And
it's like a pilot or something like that?
Yeah, like a sitcom pilot. I did it with, actually the DP, Dean, one of the DPs, Dean Martinez, he actually is one of the characters in it.
So I was figuring we could actually give our final plug for the fan film panel we're going to be on, which is going to be at the New York Comic Con coming up. It's going to be, I believe, April 19th, right? That's the Saturday.
Yep.
Going to be there?
Correct.
So you going to be there?
Unfortunately, I will not be there.
Where are you from, anyway?
I am from Rochester, New York, which is on the west side of the state.
Well, I went to school in Buffalo.
Okay, so, 45 minutes from us.
I got a ticket over there once.
You got a ticket?
Yeah, I was going to Buffalo, passing through on the thruway there, over by Rochester.
Right.
Guy gave me a ticket.
A cop, I hope.
Yes.
Okay. Just some random guy pulled you over.
Okay, so I didn't realize you were in Rochester.
Yeah.
Cool.
I actually have the info here. It's called Fan Films, A History and Future. It's from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. That's going to be room 1E07 at the Jacob Javits Center in New York City. And appearing will be Mr. Galiardi?
Galiardi, yeah.
Mr. Galiardi, myself, Dan Poole, of course, Claude Young, who organized the whole thing, thanks to him. Anna Bertocci, pronounced from Run
Probably
Run.
Bertocci, yeah.
And of course, old friend Chris Notarelli will also be there. and it will be hopefully fun.
Yeah, hopefully it will. Wear a costume, say hello. Maybe I'll try to bring DVDs, people who wear costumes or something.
Take pictures, guys. Take lots of pictures, and we'll get them up.
That'd be cool. And if you want to see some of the cast, we have a MySpace page, Iron Fist Fan Film at MySpace. And if you're interested in that, you can contact me or the actors or whoever you want. If you have any comments, you can leave those on the YouTube site it's Iron Fist, The Dragon Unleashed. And that's always good to hear. Oh, one of the comments I have to say was we got a kick out of. One guy complained that the pants should be shinier in green.
What?
Yeah, I don't know if you read it on YouTube. This one comment says the pants should be shinier and Iron Fist should wear more oil. More oil. That's
That was Joel Schumacher who left that comment.
Right. So now we're going around more oil. We should have had oil. That was. I know there's things wrong with Iron Fist, and that wasn't one of them. I had another person complain about the music, and I was perfectly fine. That was my choice. I'm perfectly fine with the music. I'm perfectly fine with the costume. There's some other things I would change, but that's not one of them. But I just thought that was...
Terry Lee has to look like MC Hammer to this person.
Yeah. So I didn't get that comment, but I appreciate the person making it. I just thought it was kind of funny.
Made me laugh.
You check it out. It's on there.
Oh, man. If that's the way to wrap up a show, that's the way to wrap up a show.
I appreciate it that you guys asked me on for your show.
Absolutely, Dan. We appreciate it. Mucho, mucho.
I'm glad to be here. And I'll
we'll see you at the con.
See you then.
I won't be there.
Okay.
Because I suck.
Maybe next time.
We'll send pictures.
Yes, please do.
Okay, guys.
All right, sir.
All right, pal.
Okay, take it easy.
Take care now.
Take care, man.
Bye.
Bye-bye.